You might be unknowingly sabotaging yourself from reaching your money goals. We're going to explore the surprising ways that your relationship with money might be holding you back, and also how to break free from them. So relationship number one is the avoidant type. People who fall into this bucket tend to avoid money conversations, and they feel stressed when they have to deal with financial matters. They also might avoid looking at how much debt they owe, their bank balances, and sometimes maybe even paying some bills. Their philosophy for the most part is out of sight, out of mind. If you don't have to look at it, you don't have to think about it, and you don't have to stress out about it. So that's relationship type number one. Relationship type number two is obsessive relationship. So people that fall into this bucket tend to overtrack their spending and micromanage every single purchase, no matter how tiny. They also tend to be in a constant state of comparison, always trying to get the best bargain each and every time. And most of the time, they're checking their bank accounts multiple times a day, obsessing over each single penny. So that's relationship type number two. Type number three is fear-based relationship. So people that fall into this bucket are constantly thinking about the worst case scenario, and they feel paralyzed when they have to make financial decisions just because their fear of loss is so great. And they also dread the thought of spending money. So as you can see, the people that fall into this bucket experience a lot of anxiety just dealing with finances in general. And lastly, relationship type number four is the shameful relationship. So people in this category tend to feel shame or guilt after spending money, and they're hesitant to talk about financial wins. And sometimes they might even hide purchases. A lot of the times they might feel embarrassed to talk about their specific money situation and tend to feel regret after making purchases. So as you can see, these are very specific categories, and a lot of times we might fall into one of these buckets and not know that we might be holding our own selves back. And so there can be a lot of factors that contribute to us being in one of these categories, like our upbringing, our parents' relationship with money, also our own experiences and coping mechanisms that kind of birth these behaviors. But not to worry, it's never too late to start improving, right? So let's talk about some solutions. I know for me in particular, I definitely fell into the obsessive type. I would definitely micromanage each penny and constantly check my bank account. So I definitely had to work on that, and just to find a right balance. So let's talk about type number one. So for type number one, if you have a more avoidant relationship with money, try to do a weekly money check-in. Maybe just by looking at your bank account, looking at your balance. Also maybe setting a simple budget. Keep this to just 5 minutes. You don't want to dive so deep that you overwhelm yourself and just never look or think about your finances like for months and months, right? So start very simple, start small. Maybe you can start by looking at some of your debt balances. Keep it very simple, right? And then later on, it's not going to be so bad. So you can go deeper and deeper gradually until you get a full picture of your whole financial situation. It's going to be great. But you got to make the first step, right? You can do it. All right, number two is obsessive type. This is the type I fell into. Try to look at your bank account balance or balance your budget just once a day. Okay, and then later on you can probably even fall back from that, but just start once a day. Where I'm at now personally, for me, I do like about 3 times a week, and I feel like that's the perfect balance. Not too often but not too little, but just start with once a day and you'll see how much burden is lifted off your shoulders, and then you can work from there. All right, for type number three, fear-based relationship. Start with writing down a positive outcome that came with a recent purchase. Rewiring your brain will take some time, so this is a good activity to do maybe once a week. That way you can start feeling positive emotions when it comes to money. Instead of feeling fear, you can start feeling peace and even gratefulness, being grateful that you're able to make a purchase that will improve your quality of life. And lastly, for type number four, the shameful relationship, try celebrating a recent smart money decision that you made. Or you can even try sharing a small money win that you've had recently with somebody that you trust. Keyword trust, somebody that won't be jealous of you, someone that wants the best for you. And that way you can start feeling more confident in your abilities and when it comes to money overall. So these are just some small steps that if you implement them over time, they're going to do wonders in bettering your relationship with money so that we're more balanced out, not obsessing, extremely, or not completely avoiding. We want to be right there in the middle. This is the first step so that you can start taking control of your money, supercharging your savings, and eliminating debt extremely fast. It takes time, but as long as you take the first step, you can do it. So let me know in the comments below if you fall into one of these categories and something that you're going to do to try to better it. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to follow because I'm going to be coming out with some really, really juicy and maybe not so mainstream money tips, so you won't want to miss that. Thank you so much again, and God bless.